I made a huge mistake on our first luxury cruise. I let us pack for the Titanic. My wife brought 3 evening gowns. I brought a tuxedo I hadn't worn since the 90s. Ended up dragging 100 pounds of luggage through the airport like a pack mule. And you know what? We wore almost none of it. We spent the entire week in slacks and polos, feeling completely overdressed when we tried to wear that fancy stuff. Today, I'm going to save your back and your dignity. We're going to demystify the dress code. Here are 7 items you and your wife need to take out of the suitcase right now so you don't look like rookies on that big trip. Welcome back to Empty Nester Cruising. If you're new here, we help you have the best cruise of your life by making mistakes so you don't have to. And packing is arguably the biggest mistake of them all. I call it dress code anxiety. When you book a line like Viking, Oceania, or Regent, you see phrases like elegant casual or country club casual. And if you're like us, you panic. You think, does that mean a jacket? Does that mean a tie? Well, they kick me out of the dining room if I'm not wearing cufflinks. So out of fear, you pack everything. You pack the formal wear, you pack the semi-formal wear, and you pack the casual wear. But here's the secret. Luxury cruising has changed. It's not 1995 anymore. The stiff formal nights are disappearing. The new luxury is comfort. So let's lighten your load. Here's item number 1. Gentlemen, look at me. Put this tuxedo back in the closet. Unless you're traveling on a specific Cunard crossing or a very specific ultra-formal expedition, you do not need a tuxedo on a modern luxury cruise. On our first trip, I brought it. I thought I was going to look like James Bond. I walked into the main dining room the first night and I looked around and you know what I saw? Men in nice slacks, button-down shirts, maybe a lightweight blazer. I looked like the maitre d'. On lines like Viking, there are no formal nights, none. On Oceania and Regent, formal optional basically means wear a collared shirt. Bringing a tuxedo takes up massive amount of space. You need the jacket, the pants, the special shirt, the studs, the cufflinks, the shiny shoes. That's half a carry-on for one outfit you might wear for 2 hours. Unless you are really, really focused and you really enjoy wearing that penguin suit, leave it at home. You're on vacation, not at your kid's wedding. This one's for the ladies, or for the husbands who are currently watching their wives pack. My wife, bless her heart, packed what we call the mother of the bride dress for our first trip. It was floor length, it had sequins, and it weighed about 4 pounds. She wrestled that thing into the suitcase. She worried about wrinkling it. She spent an hour getting ready in the small cabin bathroom. And when we got to dinner, she felt awkward. Most women on luxury cruisers are wearing what I'd call resort chic. Nice linen pants, a flowy top, maybe a sundress. When you wear a heavy beaded gown, you stand out and not in the way you want to. You look like you're trying too hard. Plus, luxury ships are big. Well, not as big as mass market ships, but they're still pretty big. Walking from your cabin to the restaurant in a floor-length gown while the ship's moving, that's a recipe for a twisted ankle. Save the space. Pack 2 nice pairs of black pants, 2-3 fancy tops, mix and match, and you're done. Item number 3 goes hand in hand with the gown. We call these sitting shoes. These are the shoes that look great when you're sitting down, but are torture when you have to walk. Here's the reality of a ship. It moves. Even on a calm day, there's a gentle sway. Wearing 4-inch stilettos on a moving metal floor is an extreme sport. And it's not just on the ship. If you're on a Mediterranean cruise, you're walking on cobblestones that are 500 years old. If you pack heels thinking, I'll just wear them to dinner, you're wasting space. My wife now packs what she calls wedges, or nice dressy flats. They look elegant, they pack flat, and she doesn't risk a sprained ankle on the way to lunch. Back to the guys. Why are we doing this to ourselves? For 20 plus years, I wore a tie to work. The cruise is supposed to be my reward for all that work. Why would I bring the noose with me? I see men packing 5 or 6 different ties. One for each dinner, they say. Here's the truth. 95% of luxury cruises, ties are not required. In fact, they're rare. If you walk into the steakhouse on a Regent ship wearing a tie, people will ask you what time the show starts because they think you're in the band. A crisp white or blue button-down shirt with an open collar looks richer, more relaxed, and more confident than a guy sweating in a silk tie. Leave the ties at home. Enjoy the freedom of your neck. This next one isn't about fashion. It's actually about the law. And this is a mistake I see rookies make all the time in the Caribbean. Do not pack camouflage clothing. This is actually for mass market lines and cruise lines. In many Caribbean nations, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and others, it's actually illegal for civilians to wear camouflage patterns. It's reserved for their military. I've seen tourists get stopped by police. I've seen people forced to go back to the ship to change. Best case scenario, they confiscate your hat. Worst case, you get a fine. Doesn't matter if it's pink camo or blue camo. Leave it at home. It's not worth the hassle. Now let's talk about denim. Can you wear jeans on a luxury cruise? Yes and no. During the day, absolutely, wear what you want. But at night, this is where people get tripped up. Most luxury lines allow smart casual jeans in the dining room. Dark wash, no holes, well fitted. But if you pack your distressed jeans, the ones with the holes in the knees that are trendy, you might get turned away at the door. I watched a couple get stopped at the entrance to the main dining room because the husband was wearing ripped designer jeans. It was embarrassing for them. They had to go all the way back to the cabin to change. If your jeans have holes, even if you pay $200 for those holes, leave them for the weekend at home. Pack the dark, clean denim for the ship. And finally, the number one reason my suitcase used to weigh 50 pounds, the just-in-case outfits. We used to pack with this mindset. Well, what if I spill wine on this shirt? I need a backup. What if it's colder than we think? I need a backup sweater. And what if we get invited to the captain's table? Stop packing for what ifs. Most luxury ships have laundry service. Many of them, like Viking, have self-service laundry rooms right down the hall that are free to use. If you spill wine on your shirt, wash it. You don't need 14 shirts for a 7-day cruise. You need 7 shirts and maybe one backup. We now use the Capsule wardrobe rule. Everything I pack has to match everything else. If a shirt only matches one pair of pants, it doesn't go in the bag. Listen, the goal of a luxury cruise is to feel light, to feel unburdened. You can't feel unburdened if you're hauling 100 pounds of luggage you won't use. Trust me on this. Pack half of what you think you need and bring twice the money. Your back will thank you, and frankly, so will your wife when you aren't grumpy from lugging bags all around the terminal. That's about it for today. See you next time. Happy sailing.